Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to our Facebook Live today. My name is Jonathan Asena, the Marketing and Business Development Manager, Kimisitu Sacco. To my left, I'm joined with my panel today. On my immediate left is Nancy Mugo. Nancy is the Senior Credit Analyst at Kimisitu Sacco. Nancy has got more than 7 years of experience as a credit analyst, a senior credit analyst for that matter, in the Sacco space, specializing in credit analysis, risk assessment, and financial management. She has successfully managed high-value credit portfolios, led large teams, and developed risk mitigation strategies, ensuring sound lending decisions and regulatory compliance. She is proficient in data analysis. Nancy actually manages a book of slightly above 9 billion Kenyan shillings. So she's going to provide a lot of actionable insights and recommendations due to her strong analytical communication and interpersonal experience that she's had over the period of experience. Nancy holds a bachelor degree in business administration, specializing in HR. I'm really interested to see how you translate that into learning. And she also has a diploma in craft diploma in craft certificate in cooperative management, and she continuously Nancy is a consultant in matters credit, so credit policies, financial management, and even professional personal financial development and managing your finances. Karibu sana Nancy to this discussion. We also have our partner from Centum Real Estate. Martin Kariuki is the head of sales at Centum Real Estate. Martin Kariuki is a seasoned sales leader with over 9 years of experience in real estate, currently serving as the head of sales at Centum Real Estate. He has spearheaded major sales initiatives, driving the success of developments like Two Rivers and Vipingo Ridge. We are all familiar with that. Known for his strategic sales approach and expertise in off-plan housing, Martin is dedicated to helping clients achieve their home ownership and investment goals. He has extensive experience in leading teams, driving revenue growth, and utilizing digital marketing. Martin holds a Bachelor of Science in Mechanical Engineering and a Master's of Science in Project Management, and is a CPA finalist. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome Martin Kariuki to the panel. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are going to talk about off-plan housing finance, and maybe I can just start by posing a question to Martin. What is off-plan housing?
Thank you, Jonathan. Off-plan housing is simply a house that is not ready for occupation. So any house that is under construction, any house that has not started construction, that translates to the definition of off-plan housing. It is one of the approach that most Kenyans prefer to use to acquire their ideal homes. So just a basic, simple description, it is a house that is not yet ready for occupation from a construction point of view.
Thank you so much, Martin. I know our viewers are curious. Yes, it is not ready. So how long probably would your project at Centum Real Estate take to materialize? At what point does the documentation come, and which documentation is this?
Thank you for that question. For us at Centum Re, we have different projects for different social classes and in different stages of construction. So it will depend on the project that you choose. So ideally you come and tell us, I want this location, I'm looking at this budget. Then we'll be able to give you projects that have less than 6 months to completion. Others have less than 12 months. If you want a longer payment period, then we give you projects that have even 24 months or even 36 months depending on the scale. So we can serve a wide clientele who are very keen on different timelines. But for the purpose of today's discussion, a good number, over 60% of the projects that we have in off-plan at this stage, they have less than a year to finish.
Okay, thank you so much, Martin. So Nancy, maybe you can tell our audience, do you finance off-plan and how do you go about it? What is the procedure?
Right, thank you so much, Jonathan. Yes, in Kinesitu, I would do say that we do finance our members, the off-plan products with the team we partnered with, like Centum is one of them. And the process is very easy, whereby the members are able to do their own application forms, they forward them to the office. After you've done the assessments in terms of their eligibility, once we confirm that they're able to qualify for those loans, we usually send them back now to Centum for them to be able to do the undertakings. Then after the undertaking is done, the members, after that, we are able to, after the due diligence is done from the partner, and the product is done, we're able to do the road disbursement to the members.
Wonderful. Now, before we get into the details of loaning, I still want us to unpack off-plan housing. So to the ordinary Mwananchi watching us, and even the elite group, Martin, what are the financial benefits that one would have to gain of buying a house off-plan as opposed to buying it when it is complete?
Thank you for that question, Jonathan. When I think of the financial benefits, basically it is the capital appreciation. Because when you come in, when the project is off-plan, it means you are coming in at an entry level price-wise. And I'd like to give an example. If you look at our affordable housing project in Kasarani, 265-1, the customers we sold to off-plan for a 2-bedroom were able to buy that house for 4.8 million. That project has less than 9 months to completion, and the same 2-bedroom is going for 7.2 million. So you can see there is over 2.5 million uplift just because somebody came in at the right time. Even if you are to get financed, there are those who say, as you construct, whatever I'll get I'll be putting, so that the amount I'll borrow towards the end of the project is also reduced. So the biggest gain there is the capital appreciation, and for people who even buy for speculation, they can actually sell that house on completion and make their profit. So the language is just one, capital appreciation.
So what I'm getting here is that when you buy at the point of the groundbreaking of the project, then your price is different as opposed to when somebody comes to buy at the end of the project, basically.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Now back to you, Nancy. What financial product do you have to finance such a partnership with Centum Real Estate? What you can tell us more about the product that you have at Kinesitu Sacco?
Well, thank you, Jonathan. We have one of the products by the name Makawalisi products. This product is so affordable to the members out there because we usually give 7 times of the members' deposits, regardless of any other loans the members in the circle. So which means now the members are able to qualify for higher credit in terms of the amounts. The other thing we usually consider in this product, it has a very friendly interest rate, which is 1% on a reducing balance. In terms of the period, it has a very flexible repayment period of from 0 to 180 months. So it means the members are able to we're able to give members loans according to their financial suits. This product is also customized. It's also customized, whereby the members are able now to get the product, because it's tailor-made in such a way that all members are able to qualify for this product for Makawalisi due to the interest rates, the repayment period, and also the multiplier in terms of the deposit multiplier. Thank you.
Wonderful. Sounds very interesting. You said 7 times of your deposits?
Regardless of any other loans you have in the circle.
Wonderful. So, ladies and gentlemen, I know probably at this point you're asking yourself, what will you be looking at? What factors will you be looking at? And probably I can invite Martin to be able to demystify that. What factors would I, as a buyer, be able to look at before I can consider buying or investing in an off-plan with Centum Real Estate?
Thank you for that question. There are many things that you can look at, but the top 3 or top 4 that I can narrow down on is, number 1, you have to look at the location and the budget. The budget is just something to do with you as the potential purchaser of our homes. You don't want to go for a house that will strain you financially, so you choose something that fits your budget. A location that has something to do with what is the developer offering. In terms of location, what you need to look out for is being a location that has potential for growth. And when I talked about the capital appreciation, that value, that capital gain you get from the time you buy the off-plan to the time the project is finished, to a large extent is determined by the location of the project. So you also need to choose a location that will suit your lifestyle needs. Is there a school for your children? Is there social amenities? Is there a hospital, and so forth? You also need to look at, because off-plan has been associated with a lot of misconceptions in the market, so you have to look at the reputation of the developer. And how do you look at the reputation of the developer? Because it's a word that we use, but we have never gone to the extent of saying what is a reputable developer. This now comes down to just looking at the track record. Just look at how has the developer performed in terms of delivering developments over the last couple of years. At least that will mitigate a lot of that risk on whether you're getting yourself into a good deal. Lastly, you need to look at the kind of payment plan and also the amenities that will come with that property. So payment plan, this is ideal for anyone who wants to pay part of the money during the construction, then maybe finance a portion of the purchase price. In terms of amenities, it has to do with your awareness. We all recall COVID-19 lockdown. Most of us were locked in houses, we could not be able to do much. So if you're looking at a home that in the next few years there is such a similar lockdown, you're able to get a lot of amenities, live, workshop, play, dine, and do other things. So I would summarize the 4 key points as what somebody needs to look at when they are coming to off-plan purchase.
Thank you so much, Martin. And what are some of these misconceptions that people have about off-plan housing, and how have you, as Centum Real Estate, been able to address them in this partnership?
I think the largest misconception about off-plan housing is, does the developer has enough funding to finish the project? I think that is the most leading. There are other developer issues, but that is the most That's the worst fear that people have on off-plan housing. So what we do at Centum Re, we do a hybrid model of funding our projects. Number one is the equity, where we put our own money. Also, we use the deposits from customers as they come in. That helps us to at least finance our project 30% from an equity perspective. Then, before we break ground on a project, we make sure we've locked in a solid financial. This is mostly from a project funding, not from the customer funding point of view, from the project funding. So by the time we are breaking ground, we make sure that there is a solid financial on board, so that once we exhaust our 30% equity funding into the project, which acts as a seed funding, the financial for the project is able to come in and we're able to push the project. So that's how we've mitigated that project, that risk. Of course, there are some unavoidable delays that we face even as Centum Re. Things to do with your contractor can wake up one day and decide his site is not fit for his continued business. So there are those unavoidable delays that we experience as a developer. But what we do is to maintain open communication lines with our customers. We tell them that this is what is happening and this is what you're doing as a business. Just to make sure that no need for any panic if any such unavoidable circumstances ever arise.
Thank you so much. And now, Nancy, how do you look at this type of financing off-plan? Because from what is coming from Martin, it appears the risks have been minimized. First of all, is a member required to have a security?
Thank you once again, Jonathan. In terms of loan security, whatever the products, whatever the outs will be done, that will be the security for this member. So it means after the house has been done, it will be able to be attached as a security for the loan. So in case that does not, the security is not sufficient at the point of the loan disbursement, before you do the disbursement, we will request for like the additional securities, like the self-guarantorship. If the member is able to do the self-guarantorship, they're able to use their free deposits to secure any amount which is not being secured from the product.
So what are some of the risks associated with the off-plan financing?
Some of the risks, in terms as Martin has just mentioned, it's one of them is the delay. In case there is delay in delivering the product at the end product, that's a risk. But I think since you've done the Kimisisu does is the due diligence before we partner. I think in terms of delays, because we take the partners, we have to do their due diligence in terms of what we've done before with other institutions, and also we have a MOU whereby we usually write in terms of TAT, in terms of delivery. So I think that one is covered from the due diligence we usually do before we can have the partnership.
So Martin, speaking of that, the delays, how has Centum Estate safeguarded the project delays, and in the event that happens under this partnership, how will customers be compensated?
So yes, Jonathan, it's good to acknowledge that we do a lot of planning into every project that we do, but for the many years we've been in business, you can't plan 100%. There are some scenarios where you might find that in one instance you're delaying a project by a couple of months. So what we normally do in that case to safeguard our investors, number one is to make sure that we communicate well in advance. And communication can take different forms. We could do phone calls, we could write to them. The second thing we do is, because you see off-plan, majority of people are paying as you construct. Mm-hmm. So we readjust the payment plan. If you are to pay your full amount or whatever you have agreed you pay during construction, if we had said you need to pay that particular segment of the amount by June and the new date is December, we readjust the payment plan to reflect the new timelines. So we don't expect you to pay and the progress on site is not commensurate to how much you're paying. So, and if you feel indeed that you need to stop paying until we finish, we just have a conversation. We say off-plan housing and financing is a collaboration between the developer and the buyer. So we keep the two lines of communications open. And in the event someone cannot wait, because we've had instances where someone cannot wait for that few months delay, and we have other projects that are finished within our portfolio, we just migrate the customer to the project that is ready. Sometimes it could be slightly higher in terms of price, or it could be slightly lower, because the portfolio it addresses different classes of segments. So we are able to migrate our customer who feel that I need the house tomorrow. So we are able to give them another alternative just to make sure that they are comfortable.
Wonderful. Now, speaking of money, I'm back to you, Nancy. You talked about 7 times. What is the maximum amount that a member can be able to qualify for?
All right. The maximum amount we usually give in Kimisitu, we have a ceiling of 50 million, but this is subject now to the ability to pay for the member, because you have to check, once you give out this loan, is the member able to pay back the loan? So that is, the ceiling is 50 million, but are subject to other features like ability to pay the loan in terms of multiplier again, if the member has enough deposits to be able to qualify for the amount they're requesting for. We also check, apart from the multiplier, we also check the ability to pay. So, and the good thing is that in case the member have other sources of income, in case their pay slip, they're not able to cover for the ability to pay, we also accept the other sources of income. So for those members who are in business, we also allow them to take these products using their other sources of additional sources of income in terms of the business they are doing out there. Thank you.
Speaking of that, you've talked about the requirements, some of the requirements, the deposits, the ability to pay. I'm getting that if I'm in business, I still qualify. If I'm employed, I still qualify. If I have both, the better. But the ceiling is 50 million for all these categories. So probably, can you tell us what will be the timeline if I apply for an off-plan housing facility under the Makao Halisi? What will be the timeline for me to be able to get funds? Or how have you structured under the, because now this is an off-plan, how do you go about the financing bit?
All right. In terms of the loan processing, we start with the member doing the loan application form. We check in terms of the explore the eligibility of this member. So once we confirm that this member is able to qualify for the product, we proceed now with asking them to go to Centrum to confirm, to get the letter of undertaking, which I think it can't take more than a day. Then from there, it means that once now we already have the final products, it will take just a few hours for us to go to do the loan disbursement. After we've received the charged proper title deed from our partner, it means now within a few hours the funds are we've already done the disbursement to the members so they're able now to get the final products.
Wonderful. Now, back to you, Martin, just to demystify the procedure on your side. Kimisitu has been able to pre-qualify these members. How long will your project be able to take so that the members can be able to enjoy the final product?
Thank you, Jonathan. The process on the side of the developer is usually easy. For us, we usually encourage, if you are being financed by your financial, in this case, Kimisitu Sacco, before you even seek that pre-qualification from the SACCO, first of all come to us, identify the house based on the location and the budget. Once you identify the house, we'll give you an offer letter within the same day. So once you have the offer letter, you bring it to Kimisitu and tell them, I intend to acquire this house by Centenary, and this is the offer letter. It has the price, it has additional costs. Once you have that to your SACCO, the SACCO will do the pre-qualification for you. Once you have the pre-qualification report or the letter from the SACCO, just bring it to us. If the pre-qualification is covering the entire purchase price of the house and the time frame to finish that project is less than a year, that's all you need. We'll reserve your unit, we will file your pre-qualification report with us. You just wait for us to finish, and then we give the SACCO the security, that's perfection of the security, then they can disperse the funds to us. There are those customers who might want the projects that are way far to completion, that is 24 months or 30 months. In that case, once you get the pre-qualification, we expect you to pay at least 10% during the construction period. Then the 90% can be paid by Kimisitu on completion. So I think any project that is more than 12 months to completion, we expect the member to pay a small deposit. We can always discuss the 10%. If it's a tall order, you can just talk to us, we see. But all the projects that are less than 12 months to completion, that pre-qualification from the SACCO, even if it's 105%, we'll reserve you a unit and we'll be happy to perfect all the securities once the house is ready and the SACCO can pay us as a developer.
Wonderful. Thank you, Martin, for that. Now, coming back to the financial model and the financing bit, Nancy, you've given us very good figures, 10.7, 50 million, and I'm liking that product. So probably, can you be able to talk about the term limits? What are the term limits for off-plan financing? And is there a difference between if I come and take a unit for investment and if I take a unit that I'm going to reside in myself? Is there a difference?
Thank you, Jonathan, once again. I will say that in terms of the repayment period for these products for Makao Halisi, we have, I said in the beginning that we are from 0 to 180 months, which means those are 15 years. Which means in case you're taking a home which is residential, you usually do up to a maximum of 144 months, which is equivalent to 12 years. If you're doing commercial, if you're taking an off-plan for commercial purpose, the repayment period also a bit longer than the residential products, which means the repayment is up to 180 months, which is 15 years. So you'll see in terms of repayment period, we have 12 years and 15 years. In case, in terms of residential and commercial projects.
Wonderful. So I'm still liking that product, Makao Halisi. Back to you, Martin. I want you to talk about the quality of these houses. How will the potential client be able to ascertain the quality? Because you see now the house is not yet built. How will they be able to ascertain? And probably as you answer that, is this something you've done before? What are some of the projects that you've done?
Thank you, Jonathan. Quality is a key concern for everyone, even us as the developer. So there are many ways we do to safeguard the quality, but the most obvious one is providing a model house. So if you are doing a project of 400 units, we prioritize putting a model, which is also called a show house. We do a show house for the market. So if you're coming and you want to buy this off-plan house, we take you to a technical house, showing you this is what, once your project is finished, will look like. That is able to solve a lot of concerns at that point, because it also makes people to see areas of improvement in terms of customization. The other thing is the vendors that we work with. So we don't just work with any vendor in the entire construction supply chain. We have pre-qualified. If you're importing, we know who to import from. If you're buying locally, we know who to buy from. And the most important is the contractor. We don't just work with any other contractor. We work with a small clique of contractors who have been able to develop projects for us in the past. We've been in existence for quite a while, over 40 years. So we know the developers who have been able to do a good job for us in the previous years. If you come at Two Rivers, for example, and I would invite anybody watching us to give us a visit, you'll see there are those projects that are ready, there are those that are under construction, and even those that are still on paper, they have not started. But we'll be able to show you a model house for each that is under construction, so that we are able to give you that comfort that the location is this, you can see, the infrastructure is this, you can see it yourself, the kind of house we intend to build for you, we can show you, this is the price, and we can even give you a projection of how is the price likely to change by the time we give you the keys to your house. So we address the quality from very basic points of view, but to us, that's what counts to our customers.
Thank you so much, Martin. Probably you can just give us the numbers in terms of what is the cost range? Where do the costs fall for these off-plan units that you're doing?
The good thing with us, we have we've tried to, as much as possible, to take care of the entire market spectrum. We have houses off-plan and finished in the affordable, mid-market and high-end. But the good thing is 80% of our portfolio is in the affordable to the mid-market. How do we define this in terms of price? We have affordable housing from 2.5 million in Nairobi to a tune of around 10.5 million. That is affordable housing. We have mid-market, that is between 10 million and 20 million. And we have high-end that goes as far as 50-something million. So depending on our customers' taste and ability to pay, we are able to give you something. And I would like to demystify something. If you see a place like Two Rivers, someone might just think it's for the high end. But I would like to surprise you that with 4.95 million, you can actually get a home at Two Rivers. And in the same Two Rivers with 50 million, you can still get a home. If you like doing holidays like I do, our Bipingo development is very ideal. You can acquire a holiday home for 2.45 million, and in the same Bipingo development, you can get a holiday home for 15 million, you can also get a holiday home for 20 million, or even 10 million. So we have different packages. So someone just needs to talk to us, and we'll be able to see what suits you in terms of taste and preferences, in terms of location, and in terms of budget.
Very interesting indeed. I could see as you explained, Nancy was getting excited. At least you have everything for everyone, yeah? From 2.4 to 50 million, which is the maximum that Nancy can be able to offer. Now, as we come to the tail end, we've talked a lot about the financing, we've talked about what off-plan is, what are the risks, what are the advantages in terms of financial. Probably to you, Nancy, how is off-plan financing different compared to the traditional mortgage options, and why should the viewers and members consider it?
All right. The difference is that for the Hofplan, as Martin mentioned in the beginning of the topic, is that these are the houses which are done before they are complete. They are sold before they are complete. Maybe what Martin did not maybe mention is that basically they are houses those which are sold basing them using the actuarial designs, the models, under the models. The other bit is that how it will be advantage for members to take that they are off plan. I know in terms of acquisition, in terms of price, the houses usually appreciate. So that would be an advantage for the members in case they opt to go the way of off plan because of that appreciation in terms of costs. Once they have the already done price, maybe from the time what they paid at maybe at the time of the finished products, the price again to be totally different from the time of the start to the end.
Now, my last question to both of you. How do you envision the future of off-plan housing in Kenya? And what role will Center and Real Estate play? What role will Kin Situ Sacco play? We can start with you, Nancy.
Right. Thank you, Jonathan. Again, how we envision this in terms of the partnership we have with Centum. I know we'll be in terms of economically, we'll be able to empower members. They'll be able to get homes with the privilege in terms of their financial means. How they'll be able to get homes, and also out there economically, we'll be able to empower those members economically.
Thank you so much. Martin, where do you see the future of off-plan? What role is Centum going to play?
Thank you, Jonathan. There are two main things that are driving the housing demand in Kenya and probably the rest of Africa. And this is population growth and urbanization. So as long as new people are being born and as long as people need shelter, the housing demand or the housing need will continue being there. So off-plan housing, how I see it, is it will continue playing a very big role in the growth of this housing in Kenya. And what we are doing at Centum RE to address that space is we want to deliver a house for every social class in this country and in East Africa. Whether you are a billionaire or whether you are just a hustler, we want to make sure that we have a house for you. We also want to make sure that we are sustainable because the world is shifting, and what you're doing at Centum RE, we are making sure that our developments are meeting the IFC EDGE certification, meaning that we have been recognized for our efforts to deliver sustainable housing. Sustainability is not for the high end only, it cuts across affordable housing, mid-market and high end. And for the sake of our viewers who might be wondering what is IFC EDGE certification, it means that we are doing developments that, number one, they have good natural lighting. Number two, they are green spaces. Number three, there is spaces for people to keep fit. You know, lifestyle issues are becoming a calamity in Kenya. So when you look at the utilities per se, an EDGE certified building, when you look at it long term, it is able to save at least 20 to 30% of your bills. And I'd like to give an example. If we give you a house that has good natural lighting, it means during the day you don't need to switch on your power. Contrary, if you get a house that is not well lit, it means even during the day you have to switch on your bulb. That's how we save you your bills. When it comes to things like water, sustainability, you don't want to offer people homes where they have to wake up at midnight to get water. So these are the efforts that we are making as a developer to make sure that we deliver homes that are sustainable in good locations. You notice that we are very choosy on the location. Two Rivers is very strategic, Vipingo is very strategic, and Tebe we are also in a very strategic location. We want to offer homes that bring in social integration, and that's why I mentioned if you come to Two Rivers today, you'll be surprised that with 50 million you can get a home, with 5 million you can still get a home in the same place. We'll meet in the mall when you are shopping, all of us, regardless of how much I bought my property, and that is the future. We want people to embrace off-plan housing. Do your due diligence on us as the developer, and then come in at the right time, because you'll save a lot of money and you'll enjoy capital appreciation by the time you're handing over the keys. And I would like people to come and see real case studies of completed projects where people came in off-plan and they can give you their story on how much value they were able to gain by the time we handed over. Thank you.
That felt like a parting shot. I have 2 minutes on the clock. I can give each one of you 1 minute for your official parting shot before we close. The lady, you can go first.
Thank you. Mine is to say that with the partnership we have with Central, I would request members become and patronize on these products, because it's so easy, it's so friendly, it has good terms in terms of repayment, in terms of interest rates, it's so friendly. So I would urge members to patronize on the Makawalizi products.
Thank you so much, Nancy. Martin?
I'd like to urge the members of Kivisito Circle and the viewers in general. Housing is a need, and the only property or the only investment that has not lost value for the last maybe 3 centuries is investment in land and investment in housing. So if you are keen on creating wealth and preserving wealth, consider investing in land and in properties. This is something that your future generation will appreciate you for. We all know that the price of land, and I would like to give an example so that people understand. Price of land in Two Rivers, when you were moving there in 2010, an acre was barely 5 million. Today, the same an acre without 200 million, you can't even get an appointment with the seller, and you have to provide proof of funds. So that is what has happened in barely 14 years. So you can take another look at 10 years, the year 2034, and you can see these properties that you're telling you can get at 5 million, at 2.5 million. You can look at 10 years and see what will be the value of that. And the people who will be there in 2034, you'll be telling them that the property was being sold by Centum for 2.5 million in Kasarani, and I didn't buy. And then they'll have a lot of questions in their head and wonder, what was my father, my grandfather doing in the year 2024? So the challenge is on you. Invest your money in property, you don't go wrong. And even if worse comes to us, at least that property, even if you have to sell it at some point, definitely you're not going to sell it at the price you bought it. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my panel. I take this time to appreciate you. Very insightful viewers. Also, thank you so much for joining us live on Facebook. This has really been mind-changing, game-changing. We've really learned a lot. I believe that at this point, now that you've heard straight from the horse's mouth, you're able to make a very informed decision. Thank you for coming live. My name is Jonathan Tange, or JM. Until next time, thank you so much.